We are at the Elk River hiking trail. You can see a map of it right there behind us. We actually found out about this trail while we were on the Eagle Rock Loop trail. We ran into a guy who at the Big Athens trailhead, and he said that there was a great place. We live just about 2 hours from here, so this is pretty stellar to be able to come and have this available to us. This is about a 15-mile hike out and back. We're just going to do about 10 miles. It's a pretty well marked trail. Mike, one. We've got Mike with us here for his hike today. But anyways, you can see we're getting up into some rocks here, some kind of cool rocks. We're actually running right along what I believe is the Elk River. And it's well marked. Footing's not bad at all. Got some rocks you got to negotiate, but I don't know if you can see down there. Mike, back. Calling the dang dog back. The river down there, really pretty. We'll get down closer to that. Like I said, we are. First part of this hike is going to be along the Elk River, and then we're going to get. It fills into a lake, and that's where we're going to camp at the 10-mile mark. But yeah, this is pretty cool. You would not think that you're in Kansas right here. Mike, good boy.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Again, just hiking right along the Elk River. Really pretty down there. Got a gorgeous day.
Beautiful.
Blue sky. And it is just absolutely perfect hiking weather. It's gonna be a little cool tonight. I think they're talking about low 40s, possibly high 30s. So we'll test out those Kelty Galactic sleeping bags. See if they still keep us warm. But wow, just a stellar day. Yeah, just another cool view here. Again, certainly nothing that you would expect to see in Kansas, but just kind of a cool rock formation here. This is something that you don't typically see. Got some pretty neat overhangs over there, and there's Mike patiently waiting for us while we video. But yeah, pretty nice hike so far, and digging it. You know, look, just hiking along these bluffs. The gentleman that we ran into at the Eagle Rock Loop told us that you would never know you're in Kansas, and that you actually would feel like you were in the on the loop again. And this is pretty indicative of what we saw, like in the Winding Stair area.
Yeah.
Remember that? Mm-hmm. That was pretty cool. And these bluffs are really interesting. Thousands of years of erosion creating these. So the one negative I've got to take away here so far is that it appears that a lot of horseback has come in on this trail on days that maybe it was muddy, and so some of the spots are pretty ruddy, but it looks like the backpackers have actually kind of created their own little path adjacent to where the horses traveled. But yeah, still cruising the river. Yeah, so coming along the trail, I found one of the things that people talk about on this hike is the rock formations that are out here, and not necessarily the natural ones, but kind of the man-made rock formations that are out here. At the very beginning, in the first mile, we came along a bunch of these rocks were set side by side vertically, and then we've come across some rock stacking, which is cool that campers are hikers are participating in that. But we came across this, and this took me back to my junior high and high school days back in Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. This looks like it was some kind of maybe foundation for a cabin or something. This was found regularly in Valley Forge National Park, and that's exactly what they were for. And as you look up in here, it looks like they've got like little holes down here where, you know, the pets could come and go. Maybe that was the first doggy door down there, who knows, or where water could flow out. But pretty neat. Back on the East Coast, a lot of Revolutionary War era rock walls, etc. Farmers clearing their fields. We just had to stop for a minute to do a little backpack adjustment for Sherry, kind of adjusting the torso length on her pack so it'd be a little bit more comfortable. But she's hiking with the Teton 4000 backpack, as am I. And the nice thing about it is that they have tons of room, and also really easy to adjust. So in the mid hike, you can stop on a rock wall and make a really quick adjustment for that. But yeah, the Teton 4000, reasonably priced bag. A little on the heavy side, but that's what you get when you're, you know, around 80 liters. So I'm happy with it. So I mentioned that there was some of the rocks that were laid on their sides vertically and then stacked together. It's kind of a cool little rock wall that they've got here. It just seems to run all the way down up there and all the way along here. Anybody home in there? A quick little rock ascent there. Not too bad. Well, we are into the third mile here, and so far it's been good. The footing here on the last part of the second mile and early part of this third mile, I'm just going up and down some rocks, just some loose rocks. I thought this was a cool formation. Wanted to show you as we walk through it. Yeah, this is Kansas. Southeastern Kansas. And we're going to go right along this bluff wall here. That's pretty neat. Close. Just some really cool stuff. Isn't that neat?
Yeah.
When you think of Kansas, you think of the fields of wheat. Not this. You all right?
My ankle hurts.
You need to stop?
No. I need to get off these rocks so I quit twisting it.
Sure, I rolled an ankle back there on one of the descents. There's a lot of loose rock, and you really got to be careful. Particularly this time of year, with the fall, with all the down leaves, it's hard to identify what's underneath them. So you kind of have to be careful of your footing, because there's often a loose rock under there. But yeah, it's too bad actually. We're probably about what would you say, about 2 weeks too late to be able to get the fall colors.
Too late?
Yeah. All the leaves are pretty much out of the trees.
Yeah.
We were too early for Eagle Rock Loop, but for the colors there, and missed the ones here. But I guess we got to time that up better next year. Yeah, we're just going to continue our descent here along this wall. Now we're actually coming up to I think a waterfall might be a stretch, but where water is dripping out of the formations right above us. And this is going to be a tricky little descent here. Mike found himself a nice pool of water down there. Yeah, and then it's like we go up on the other side over there. But there's a trail that runs on the side of that hill. But don't know if you can hear it or see it. The water that's cascading from the cliffs there, all along. There's some over there that catching the sun rays. Pretty neat. And then this goes down here, and we're gonna intrude on Mike's little hot tub down here. Mike, is that your water? You're gonna be sleeping outside the tent today if you're wet at closing time. Step on that ledge right there. Yep. Yep, it's pretty solid. And then just use your pole to guide you down to the next level. You can do it. Just step with confidence. All right, be careful. There's a jagged rock there to your left.
You're not videoing this, are you?
I would never video this without telling you. She conquers it again. This is so cool.
Where are you going?
I hope you can hear that water and see that water. It's pretty neat. All right, we just go right up on the other side here, Cher. And it's rock, but doesn't appear to be too slippery. It's wet. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit rocky here for a while, so be careful of your ankle. Well, we're gonna take a little lunch break here. So it's a gorgeous sunny day, and just thought we'd take a break, a little snack, and we had mentioned earlier that Sherry had rolled an ankle, and I guess
Taped her up.
yeah. Don't forget the importance of bringing a first aid kit. This one not very well supplied for a sprain. Very little tape to be able to put on much of a support. A very thin, cheap ace bandage. But so I put a couple wraps of tape on underneath, and then put the ace bandage over top, and then started a new anchor at the top of the ankle, and then a couple more wraps of tape. Hopefully it'll give her a little support. We went through a pretty rocky section there. But yeah, one of the dangers of fall hiking is, you know, the leaves are down and covering up the trail. You really don't know what you're stepping on, and you just kind of take your time. So we thought it'd be a good time to take a little break, have her elevate the ankle, and try to keep the swelling down. And we're still hoping to get in 10 miles today. We're just under 4 miles at right now. And
Hopefully it'll be easier hiking.
Yeah.
That rocky, ledgy stuff was kind of crazy.
Yeah. It was neat though.
It was pretty.
Way cool.
Really neat.
Mike liked it. Mike, what'd you think? Mike, what do you think? Mike is the burly dog out here, and when I say burly, I mean like he's covered in burrs. So we spent the first part of our snack session here cutting burrs out of Mike's fur coat. But anyways, he's got his food here as well. You always want to make sure if you're going to bring your pet on a hike that you make sure they've got food and water as well. So, all right, we're going to get back to it here pretty soon. Watch the wasps. I think they're just after the water, but the wasps. They're all huddling over on that overhang. Well, it's good morning from Elk River Trail. We had our night sleep here. You can see our tent. And
A letter A.
we had a letter A right there, which is a monogram campsite that we came across. That was nice of them to signal that for us. And then you can see we have our campfire going. And of course we just wrapped up another batch of coffee press coffee with our jet boil. Highly recommend. So Sharon, how was your first night, or how was your night on the trail?
Great. It was great.
So a real noticeable difference from this trail and the Eagle Rock, which we most recently hiked, is the existence of more animals, more habitat.
Mm-hmm.
When we were at Eagle Rock, one of the things we noticed quickly is like there weren't even squirrels or birds or things flying around, which was really strange for kind of a national forest, even to the point that it seemed odd because we ran into a deer hunter on the way on the road to the trail, and we didn't see any signs of deer, at least in the loop. Last night we heard owls, we heard coyotes, we heard duck. We had a duck that was quacking throughout the night. Quack, 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 quack. Either that or who are the duck call people? Down south, they have their own show.
Duck Dynasty.
Duck Dynasty people were out here testing their products. Who knows? But we had some animal come through our camp. A fairly large animal. I'm gonna guess it was a doe or a buck. You could just tell by the gait through the leaves that it was fairly large, but it didn't seem to mind Mike the dog. Mike the dog there, he gave out a mighty rough, and it didn't seem to impede the gait of whatever animal was walking through here. So we just sat tight, didn't bother to get up and go see what it was, and it went on its way. But we're getting ready to get after it. We got about a 12-mile hike out, and then we have a couple cold beers waiting in a cooler in the car, so we'll have that when we get there, and then we'll head for home. All right, we just finished the Elk River hike. We hiked out about 12 miles on the first day, set up camp. What we thought was going to be a camp kind of right on the lake actually was kind of about, I don't know, a couple hundred yards off the lake, but we were able to get down there and get water. But what do you think?
It was good. A lot more challenging than we thought.
Yeah, I would say
it was rated moderate, and there were some tricky parts.
Yeah, Eagle Rock was rated difficult. This was rated moderate. I would say this is somewhere in between. There's places where it's really easy, but then so is Eagle Rock. We both commented last night that we definitely felt more tired. Our legs felt more tired after each day, last night here than we did it any day in Eagle Rock, including the mountain days.
I think it was more of a climb than a hike. There's a lot of climbing.
Yeah, and I think one of the things you hit on,
short climbs.
They were short climbs. So basically what this hike does is you start out along the river, and then that feeds the lake, and then once you kind of get into the lake part of it, you actually kind of hike the peninsula out and then come back around and then go back up the finger where it feeds the lake, and then back out onto the next peninsula, and you just kind of keep zigzagging all the way down, so you get in some mileage. I think you hit on it last night in that it's a lot of uneven surfaces, and so just like rock climbing, like every move is working a different muscle group. I think that your legs are fatigued because you're always on really strange shaped rocks and configurations, and so your stabilizer muscles are really fighting to kind of keep up with what you're doing, and at the end of the day the stabilizers are really fatigued, and so you want to make sure you've got good stabilizer muscles before you come out here.
Well, even when it was flat, it was rock, dirt, rock, dirt.
Right.
Like it was never just, you could maybe take 5 steps of just flat dirt, and then you'd have to step on a rock and down on the dirt again and up on another rock. It was just uneven almost the whole way.
Yeah,
there's some grassy parts.
I rated a 4, maybe a 4 1/4 out of 5. Best kept secret in southeast Kansas.
Yeah.
I come hike this hike.